Hey there, G3XE here, and apologize that I'm a little bit shirtless today. We are entering the Texas summer, and it is quite hot, and my AC is currently not working, so it's really hot in my apartment. Anyway, I'm making a response video. I just got done watching this week's episode of Warhammer Weekly, which is a weekly show, obviously, put out by Vince Venturella on, essentially Age of Sigmar, but they talk about subjects tangential to a lot of war games, and recently they just did an episode, today, of the changes that are coming to Warhammer 40k 8th edition, and then how the parallels that you can draw between the rules to Age of Sigmar. But 40k's through the leaks, we know, has some very specific differences. And the topic of the show this week was what changes do we want to see in Age of Sigmar, if any. And I'm making this response video specifically because of the discussion that he and Tom had about whether or not heroes should be able to be targeted if they're not the closest closest unit to the unit that's shooting. This in Age of Sigmar, I guess, has been a point of contention because people complain that, oh, my character can just get sniped from across the board. Now, I am vehemently against this being changed in Age of Sigmar. I actually love how it is now, and I'll defend my point, which is, one, I don't think that sniping thing happens all that often. Two, when it does, it's like, well, he's a big, hero. I assume in the Age of Sigmar that it's all about the heroes and their deeds that they know of, whatever Liberator Prime that guy is, and they're like, oh god, we better shoot him. The generals are going to be telling their troops that. And then, finally, my main point, which is gameplay-wise, why I love Age of Sigmar. So I went into Age of Sigmar. I started wargaming not too long ago, about 2 years ago, getting into Warhammer 40k 7th edition, and then just got into Age of Sigmar. Although it looked appealing when it came out, I didn't want to split my money, and kept with 40k for a little bit. I'm excited for 8th edition, but I'm now getting into Age of Sigmar. One of the things right off the bat, I love all the rules in AOS, and all the tactics behind your unit placement, because I actually think it is more tactical than 7th edition 40k, Age of Sigmar is currently. But one of the, essentially the only tactic in where you place or how you compose your units on the table, in 40k 7th, the only thing was okay, you put the leader in the back because its closest model dies. And I always thought that was really annoying, to me at least. I played Chaos, and I'm like, no, I want, and there's nothing stopping me from doing this, but I want my leader dude to be leading the charge. I want him to be in the front, saying, come at me, and just running in. And while you could do that, it was usually suicide, because then your leader would get shot, the unit's leadership value would decrease by 1, then you probably would have to, if it's he's leading cultists or something, you probably have to take a test. And it was annoying. It didn't reward playing to make the battle look cool. In Age of Sigmar, I love that the heroes are separate. And the way they counterbalance this is that even though, a hero for, let's say the Seraphon might be the same size as this guy, he will have 7, 8, 9 wounds, so it will be significantly harder to take him down than a regular unit with 1 wound each model. Though that's not very realistic, I guess. I just think it's cool because it's about the heroes. It's about the big characters leading in the charge and their heroic deeds and stuff. And that proposed rule change would get rid of that, because everyone would tactically be forced to put their leader at least a little bit behind some friendlies so that they can't be targeted, and constantly playing chicken and hiding I love the fact right now in Age of Sigmar, even with the so-called like sniping rules, that you can have your hero right up in the front, leading the charge, saying, "Come at me, bro," and it doesn't really penalize you that much for it, because the hero has almost always tons and tons of wounds. And though if you're playing competitively, there are tons of like mortal wound dealing machines. I think that in everyday play, I don't want to be, I don't know. I don't want. I mean, there's nothing stopping you from doing it, even if they change that rule, and I probably still will. But it'll just be like drawing fire to him because like, oh, you forgot to hide your hero behind, one of his allies, which I just think is stupid because it's like, I want my army to feel cool. I don't want my hero, which is in my mind kind of my role play on the board, right? Like if this was D&D, that would be the character I was, and he's commanding the troops. I don't want him to be like, hey, ally, come here, let me use you as a shield. And they'd be like, whoa, what the hell? And, I don't know. Especially when you play stuff like Chaos, and, like, I get it with Space Marines or Imperial Guard, because they're like, oh, die for me so that I can be protected or something. But when it's Chaos, it's like you feel like the leader, like Abaddon, should be in the front, or someone. I don't know. Just my thoughts. Tell me if you disagree or agree or whatever. And honestly, they were pretty much on my side on Warhammer Weekly. It's a great show. Check it out if you do not. They post every week. Vince Venturella's channel, just that name if you type it in. Also, he posts awesome hobby tricks, topics of the week. Just tons of great content coming out of them. And they're both, they're just a hilarious duo. They're always cracking me up. So, anyway, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.